This episode is brought to you by Novilla Mattresses. When it comes to your mother, you want her sleeping in a comfortable bed. When she's with me, she won't have to worry about that because I sleep on a Novilla mattress. Let me tell you, when your mom is at my place, she is sleeping on a very comfortable mattress and she is going to get you one as well. Meet their Bliss Organic Memory Foam Mattress. Perfect for those who want a cool, dry, undisturbed sleep throughout the night, made with organic bamboo charcoal fiber, excellent motion isolation, cooling gel-infused memory foam that fits all bed frames and is reasonably priced. Perfect for if you want an inexpensive mattress for you, your children, or even for your guest room. It comes in a box delivered right to your door, and you get 100 nights to try it out. Skip that trip to the big box mattress store and get a mattress from Novilla. Throw out that cheap Walmart mattress you got in college and get yourself a mattress made by Novilla. Using promo code Schweezy or the link in our description, you can save 10% on any purchase through Novilla directly. Try out the mattress that your mom tried out last night. Again, that's 10% off using promo code Schweezy. And a reminder, when you use our links, you directly support this show. When you want it the most, there's no easy way out. When you're ready to go and your heart's left in doubt, don't give up on your faith, but come to those who believe it, and that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Hello, and what is going on, my fellow Schwoke Lords? What is up? Welcome to yet another episode of Cancel Schweezy. Cancel Schweezy, better known as the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Cancel Schweezy. We're here today. It's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the guys out there.
That's my hole. That's where it spits.
Let's try that again. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. You get 1 day a year about you because you did not pull out, or you did and it didn't work. And maybe your pullout, that means your pullout game weak. Make that pullout game weak. Wet ass podcast right there. But no, it's Father's Day. My father has passed away, so So apparently my mom wanted to meet my brother in Columbia, Missouri to see each other for the day, and my dad died at the hospital in Columbia, Missouri, so that was cool, you know. Going back, we should have visited his old room. It was 2:30. I remember his room was 2:30 because I thought it was funny, because that's the time you go to the dentist. That's 2:30. I do like scheduling dentist appointments for 2:30 just because I'm fucking hilarious. So, that's cool. So, we got to go back to the town he died in. And I don't have anything against the people of Columbia. Y'all just need to figure your shit out as a town. Everything closes on 6 on Sundays and 7 the rest. 7 p.m. Now, like, I get it if it's like, you know, there's certain stores that can, like, close early, like 4 p.m., you know. There's places like that. And I'll accept it from banks and post offices, you know. I'll accept it from them, you know. But, like, I don't know, like, Spencer's Gifts, you know. COVID's gone. They took out the glass protection at my local dispensary, meaning that COVID is now over. It is weird how, like, literally 3 years ago at the start of this whole thing, it was just, like, scary for everyone. And now we're just like, we got meds for it, we got a vaccine, you know, like, I don't even hear about people getting it anymore. I'm luckily, knock on wood, one of the people who hasn't got COVID. So, and then anytime I feel slightly sick, first thing goes into my mind, it's like, do I have COVID? You know, I've been doing that for the last 3 years. Every time I'm hungover, you know, every time you're hungover, you're like, do I have COVID? And then you eat something, and you're like, nope, can still taste it. Which I guess some people can taste things. I don't know. That's weird. It would be convenient to lose taste for a minute. Would you rather lose taste or smell? The nice thing about losing taste is you can just eat the same. Because, like, how do you get in shape? You know, if you want to be, those guys, those guys who are always at the gym and are ripped, you know what they do? They have to, their whole life is dedicated to looking like that. It's, to look good. I mean, a lot of people to look good, they have to work really hard at it, and it's basically just takes up their entire life. And so that's what they do. And so I try to be somewhere. You should try to be somewhere in the middle where you're like, I'm not fat. I feel pretty fat today. I've been doing that shit. I also, I have had the worst diarrhea of my life the last 2 days. Friday, and I think we can say today too, but I had 2 cheat meals, which was I had a real pizza. I usually eat like a low. I know how to make low carb pizza, so that's not like a problem for me. But like pizza's good, but you're like, you know what? Like I haven't had a cheat day. I went the whole month of May. Like I was a good boy the whole month of May, and so I can cheat. I can have a cheat day. That's no big deal. And don't forget, I'm doing a low carb type diet, and I hope reintroducing carbs into my system was the reason I had a throbbing headache yesterday, and then today, and I think it started yesterday too, I've had the worst diarrhea of my life, and I'm really hoping it's because I reintroduced carbs into my body, and not because I think I have brain cancer or diabetes or, anything. Because I'm not even a hypochondriac, but I have anxiety. So if you have anxiety, you probably fall into the category of a hypochondriac. Even if you're like, no, I'm probably fine. It's just like you have a health issue and you're like, fuck. Crazy fucking shit. So for those of you keeping track, now we have a new ranking of the worst diarrheas I've ever had in my life. Number 3, third place, is a time I went to Jersey Mike's in 2019. That was the third worst diarrhea. It used to be the second. Now, what used to be the first worst diarrhea of my life was a trip I made to Colorado in 2016 where me and a couple other guys all had the diarrhea. Usually, I think it's just road ass. I think that's what you call it, where you start, you drink water and eat food from another part of the world, and the bacteria is different from the bacteria which you consume in your normal home. So you just shit water for spicy, burning, battery acid water we did that. We all did that, and we all broke a toilet. And, oh, man, am I just, like, out of it from that. So anyways, though, worst diarrhea I've ever had, Father's Day 2023. So Father's Day 2023, second place, Colorado 2016, Jersey Mike's 2019 is the third. It's weird. I have rankings for the worst diarrhea of my life. People are like, "You've ever clogged a toilet before?" If you've asked me that out of context, I look like I'm going back to like war stories of like times I've clogged toilets. That's the nice thing about having a bidet, though, is that very hard to clog a toilet with a bidet. I think the reason why most toilets get clogged for the most part is because I think toilet paper is the reason. Like too much toilet paper. I think that's the reason. So you guys got to use the 4-sheet fold method. That's the best method to do if you're using real toilet. If you're at a public restroom, you're taking a shit, and they have that like fucking the thinnest fucking sandpaper toilet paper that they usually have, that's the time you bunch it up. Like, waste that shit. Let's just get rid of all, because like the more you use, then I don't think hopefully we don't make any more. So if we just continue to do that and stuff like that. When I was in college, I stole, it was like 4 guys to 1 bathroom, and when 4 people occupy 1 bathroom, you use a lot of toilet paper. So one time I just stole it from the student union, and we did still go through that pretty fast. I think it was like half a semester worth of toilet paper. So anyways, though, that's enough of talking about shitting. I think it's Father's Day where I'm at. Happy belated Father's Day to everyone out there. Most of you call me Daddy, so thank you for wishing me a happy Father's Day. Because and like I already told the story of my Father's Day, so
cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff.
Anyways, though, go check out my music under Schweezy. I'm working on new stuff. I have a song in the pipelines ready to come to your ears. Make sure you're checking me out over wherever you stream your music. Make sure you're following me so you get notified whenever that shit goes down. Social media as well. You can know new podcasts, new music, and whenever I go live over on Twitch, all at TheSchweezy and twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. Great way to check us out. Twitch, twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. Connect your Amazon Prime account to make sure to, support me with your Amazon Prime account. We do have a Patreon page too, which is basically turning into a donation page right now. It's a great way to say thank you for being a friend. But I think we are probably going to move. We're going to get a PayPal and a Cash App link going soon. So if you just want to support the show, you can send us some money that way too. We're getting that all set up. We're gonna be cool and everything there. But other than that, though, make sure you're checking out that. Make sure you're subscribed. Leave a review. Leave us a comment. Subscribe, especially subscribe over on YouTube, because we're really wanting you to go over and subscribe on YouTube. So
come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Don't be stingy with your subscribes, okay? And leave us a review, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1 star. You know that shit. You're aware of what that shit is. So I'm not scared. I'm not scared of you. And I'm not scared of anything.
I identify as a fucking threat.
So I feel this is relevant to today's world. I went somewhere recently, and I was wearing my fanny pack. It's summer, a hot Schweg summer. We're all doing, we're doing the hot Schweg stuff. A hot Schweg summer, and in the summer I like wearing shorts. I got these nice pairs of shorts from Shein, and then But the thing is with a lot of shorts is they don't have a lot of pockets, so it's either carry a backpack, and sometimes I don't have enough stuff to carry a backpack. I usually just keep a lot of things in my pockets, and when you don't have a coat pocket and pant pocket and yada yada yada, I use a fanny pack. Now, I have a black fanny pack. I wear a lot of black clothes, so usually blends in pretty nicely.
I like that.
However, the security guard of this place, he asked me, do you have a gun in that bag of yours? And he was referring to my fanny pack. And, I said no. And I would say don't do this, but I said, you can look through it if you want to. I don't have anything. I'm not too worried about it. And he just said, I'll take your word for it. Now, nothing wrong with that security guard. He did his job, and also he probably sized me up too. I think men like to size up other men. You're like, I think if this guy is trying to do shit, I think we can take him. As our friend Joe said.
This is the type of guy you get.
But, and I think this is relevant to today's world. Everyone has a different opinion on guns. I'm not here to say what is right and what is wrong, because I don't think I'm educated enough to know that on the subject. However, I feel like we can all agree. I think we can all mutually agree that if you are keeping your gun in your fanny pack, okay? If you're keeping a gun in your fanny pack, what I will say is, I don't think you should be able to own a gun. You know what? I don't think you're responsible enough to own a gun if you're just throwing a fucking gun in your fanny pack. I watched a video of a guy who, I want to say this because I think we're still in good boy hours, who accidentally shot his downstairs member because he had his gun in like jean pockets. Like that's how he had his gun. And he did a little bendy bend and boom, shot himself in the downstairs region. And I watched the surgery. They got it out, and I guess everything works fine. But But that scares me enough to, like, if I'm going to carry a gun, I think I'm going to put it in a holster. And if you're at a place where they don't allow guns, but you don't want to take off your holster, make sure you always have that car banana. Everyone has a car banana. I know we all have a car banana, and that's what you keep in your holster. Okay? Okay, man, I am so fucking tired right now, dude. But so fucking tired means we are going to get into previous week right now. What is previous week right now? Some of you may be asking to yourself after clicking on my dumb fucking face. Well, we're just going over last week's news. We're going to do it right now. We're going over that shit. We're going to go over the news. So, as Phil Franco says...
Let's just jump into it.
This one's from Kotaku. Some people get their news from there. Playboy Founder's son funds his Pokemon obsession with an OnlyFans. Marston Hefner, the son of late Playboy founder Hugh Hefner, is probably the most down bad person on the planet. He started an OnlyFans account this year to sell tasteful and steamy nudes, and then used that secondary income to fund his habit of collecting Pokemon cards. In an exclusive interview with Page 6, Hefner explained why he joined OnlyFans, saying he prefers selling nudes of himself instead of participating in porn because of his disinterest in pornography and the stigma around the field. I joined it because, one, I believe there's nothing wrong with nudity or sexuality, Hefner said. I grew up in an environment where that was kind of hammered home, where there's nothing wrong with nudity normal. So I grew up with Playboys strewn around the house. Nudity was a common thing for me growing up. And so then that brings me to the other reason, which is I really like comic books. I really like Pokemon cards. I'm a collector. I have my Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man comic books in this chest right here, and this is a way for me to get some income so that I can buy that Pokemon cards that I really want. Although he didn't disclose how much he's making from his OnlyFans account, in talking to Page 6, Hefner clarified that in 6 months, he'll be able to buy a Pokemon trophy card. Like the super rare one that sold for $300,000 back in April. My OnlyFans is not supporting myself, Hefner said. It's mostly for collecting, but it is a long-term avenue for further financial security. All of the income right now is going towards Pokemon cards, but over the long term, it makes a big difference. In a phone interview with Kotaku, Hefner explained that the specific Pokemon cards that he really wants is actually a misprint of some of the OG base sets. There's a disco base set which is like a misprint. Hefner said it was like the Pokemon Company were thinking about making more of these sets, but instead they went with a different design. Still, there are a few sheets, a few of those cards out there, those kind of test prints, and so obviously they're very rare, and I think they're much cooler. I have my eyes on disco base sets, but my happiest place is opening packs with my niece. Hefner said that through collecting, he's become even more interested in finances and saving money, explaining he hasn't purchased any cards with the money he'd made from OnlyFans yet. However, he does have a Google Doc tracking his financials to know when he could buy his desired cards, like a near perfect condition or PSA 10 graded Ho-Oh, which could run a few hundreds to a few $1,000s according to recent eBay listings. My favorite Pokemon is Ho-Oh, Hefner said, because in the very first episode, Ash Ketchum sees a giant rainbow flaming gay Ho-Oh. He's soaring through the air, and I remember that feeling of going, that's the coolest Pokemon ever. It was this mythical over there beyond the hills is happiness, over there is Ho-Oh. I remember as a kid just wanting to meet Ho-Oh, and I think it's a gorgeous, underrated Pokemon. Maybe I like Ho-Oh because it's the black sheep legendary, but that people count on. Hefner mentioned he started posting on Instagram first to connect with a community, but wasn't too keen on the disparaging messages he got about looks and body images. OnlyFans has been a completely different story. Oh, so this is very interesting. I'm curious. Who wants to fucking see nudes? I don't know. So even Hugh, this guy looks fine. I'm not going to make fun of him, but let's just go off his dad's genetics. I would probably pay money to not see Hugh Hefner nude. I bet there's photos out there somewhere about him nude. But yeah, this seems like I don't know, what does Hugh Hefner's son do? Because I remember like hearing before Hugh died that the status of the Playboy Mansion, it was like, it's not looking very good. And I'm like, you know how like it was decorated in the 80s and 90s? It still looks like that or something. That's what I heard. But Hugh like spent like all his time in his room, so I bet his room is probably still probably in good shape, or a time capsule. But I remember watching that Playboy documentary, The Secrets of Playboy, which I don't know why they called it Secrets. I'm pretty sure we could all guess that shit was going on there. You're like, oh, women were just getting drugged left and right in that place. I'm like, I'm going to say that. I'm going to make a prediction that was not a good time. That was not a cool thing to do. And don't do that. Don't drug people. It's bad. Just a lot of the R word. Not that R word. Not Republican, or what I refer to when I usually refer to Republicans as R words. The other R word. That sounds like that purple fruit, grapes. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, thing. So yeah, I don't think the Playboy Mansion is doing it. What is like the status of like, did Hugh Hefner ever sell his, or quit Playboy, or remember they were like, the Playboy Mansion is for sale. However, if you want to buy it, Hugh still gets to live there. Because imagine like this creepy old dude living there, like, we're gonna send this lady up here. I'm gonna do her in the butt so I don't get her pregnant. He did all. I think he mainly, he probably got some V in there, but he mostly did some B's, buttholes. He did a lot of butthole stuff, He I heard that because he didn't want to get him pregnant. I don't know. I feel like anal, like you got to do like at least 12 hours to prep or some shit like that, Like you hear porn stars like talk about like, oh, what's the process of doing like an anal scene? And I think most of them probably is like, I don't do too much, I heard like people think just don't eat, but like you do have to eat so your body clears out. And then I think they do enemas and shit like that. There's a lot of stuff. And people are like, I want to do anal at home. They're like, you're going to get shit on, dude. Like, okay, do anal if you want to, but I'm just going to let you know, if you get shat on, okay? If you got shat on while doing anal, you just got to deal with it. You mess with fire, you're going to get burned. You mess with poo, and it feels like battery acid, you're also going to get burned. So,
that's rough, buddy.
Anyways, though, cool stuff. If only I had access to a time machine, I can go back to 2006 to the garage sale where I got rid of all my Pokemon cards.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And I think that really sums that up. So, okay, here we go. We got another segment we like to call
Cool Stuff, Slick Stuff, Neat Stuff,
where we go over what the hell Garth Brooks has been up to. We got our 2 weeks in a row. It's from the Rolling Stone magazine, not the band. Garth Brooks launches Nashville radio station, We Can't Lose Country Music. The station, the Big 615, promises to feature more female artists and musicians not backed by a major label. Garth Brooks speaks on stage at the Class of 2022 Medallion Ceremony at Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum on October 16, 2022 in Nashville, Tennessee. Country music seems to be bubbling over into pop mainstream this year. Last night, a single from Morgan Wallen won't budge from its top spot on the Billboard Hot 100, and among the positions below it are Luke Combs' cover of Tracy Chapman's Fast Car and Zach Bryan's Something in Orange down in Nashville. Garth Brooks is enacting a plan to spotlight artists who don't have the backing of a major label and help the genre evolve with the times as he launches the radio station, the Big 615, which can streamed around the world for free on TuneIn beginning Thursday. Terrestrial radio is an agenda to the labels. Works great. Worked great for me, right? But what happens on terrestrial radio is as long as the labels have you, then you're on the radio. The second something happens and you're not with the label, the career goes into some other stage. Brooks said at the press conference, our thing is, I think there are some artists that outlive their labels. One of them, for me, is George Strait. I want to hear the new stuff from George Strait. I want to hear it right next to Luke Combs. I want to hear that stuff from the chicks. He also just wants to hear more women in general. We are going to lean a little more traditional when it comes to music, he added, but now he's not keen on carrying a traditional country radio's scarcity of non-male performance at the big 615. Brooks said the balance between guys and girls is fantastic. It is nothing to hear two females back to back on this channel. If there's something we're seriously missing in country music right now, it's the number of females in those voices. Big 615 is one of 7 stations on Brooks' 7 networks for the streaming platform TuneIn, which boards more than 100,000 radio stations in 122 countries. The promotional playlist from the station on the platform's homepage features George Strait's Honky Tonk Time Machine and Maren Morris's Circles Around This Town, but also Jackson Dean's Fearless, Bailey Zimmerman's Fall in Love, and Trisha Yearwood's She's in Love with the Boy. The chance we have here with a global country station is to spread love, Brooks said, adding, can't lose country music. Just can't. So, initially, I think this is a really good idea. And, yeah, for those of you who don't know, a lot of, if we're talking about mainstream radio and stuff like that, like your local indie, like we all have a local indie station or whatever around us, and you're like, I can get on the radio. I'm like, okay, we're talking about we're not talking about a guy. Like, most radio stations are owned by a corporation. And from the basics I know and stuff like that, there's a lot of times you'll hire someone to get your song on the radio, and it's usually a record label or the artist directly. And a lot of times when we get a record deal, I believe a lot of that money goes into the guy. I have a friend who does radio promo and stuff like that. So basically, his job is to just get the music on the radio and stuff like that, and keep having music on the radio, because the more music that he represents that gets on the radio, the more he gets paid. So it's very cool. And yeah, for the most part, if really to get on radio, you really you're doing some under the table money donations, donations and quotations, and what you're also doing is, they usually won't even, if I went to I don't know what radio station I would go to be like, can you play my songs? They'd be like, fuck no, get the fuck out of this office. How'd you get in here? Why are you wearing Crocs? But yeah, no, so I think this is a really cool idea. Now, however, I kind of wish Garth was doing a radio show, because I would love to hear the call. They would be like, let's do call-ins, and then people would be fucking calling in and be like, hey Garth, where's my grandma's body? Garth, the families need closure. Where are the bodies, Garth? It would just be that. Fucking people are just doing that nonstop to Garth, just saying where are the bodies? So if his radio station had call-ins, if that radio station has call-ins at all, I don't know anything about it, but I like the idea. I like the idea of this station, but however, though, if this station takes live calls, I swear to God, it's going to become a meme. So, the town I went to high school in, big thing, they used to do birthdays on the local news channel, and then one day, someone, sent in a bunch of names. I'll play. Let me just play a little bit of the clip here.
Craven Moorhead, happy 21st birthday. That's been a while for me. You came a long way. Anita Lay, happy birthday to my sweet little girl, Anita. Mike Hunt, happy birthday to my hubby, Mike. Anita, hooray, happy birthday, Anita, from your favorite son-in-law. And Lena Jansen, happy 90th birthday.
And here we go. I forgot. We got some anniversaries here. Donna and Harry Mo Lester. May this anniversary be our best. Let's see here. Mike and Julia Hawk. 23 years ago on this day, I found you. Love, Julia. Esther and Emma Royds. We love you too. From the kids, Amy and Willie B. Hardigan. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. Love, Joseph. Bill and May Ann Nays. Happy anniversary to Bill and May Ann Nays. And then Hugh and Mar Erection. Happy anniversary to us. To you, love, honey, from Martha.
And yeah, so after that day, they don't do birthdays anymore. You know, they don't read the birthdays on the news anymore. So that was both funny and sad. That's like what the town's known for. Me and that fucking meme. So that's fucking hilarious. And yeah, if Garth's channel did like, so people were like, so Garth, do you want to take like live calls? I absolutely fucking not. I don't. Because he'd be like, it's just if you look on the social media, it's just fucking chaos. Like the comment section, and you'll find some of mine too. You know, you'll see a lot of mine. I'm not helping this problem. I'm probably part of the problem. Just nonsense on Garth's page. So that was my first thought. But yeah, no, I think mainstream. I have like a love-hate relationship with country music. Like some days I'm like, yeah, I like a lot of these songs, and you know, you listen to some Waylon Jennings, you know, some old Dolly. You listen to some Willie Nelson. You know, some of that old country stuff, especially who do you want to hear? I would love to hear George Strait. Yeah, George Strait and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff's just straight up good. And then like I don't know. Then in the early 2000s they wanted to combine country with rap, and now country is just pop with twang. You know, and yeah, it's almost worse than Christian music. It's almost worse. Not worse, but it's almost worse than Christian music. Because eventually you do find gems out there today with country music. More than last night, we let the liquor talk. Like I like Cole Wetzel. He's pretty cool. What else? I like Brooks and Dunn. They're good. I do enjoy a couple Garth songs. And I'm like I said, I'm part of the problem. You know, more country. I see the 1, 2 in your eyes. Conway Twitty, you know, met his grandson, so that was cool. That's cool. Yeah. All right, last article we got here today from Games Radar. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 gets T rating for words like ass.
That's rough, buddy.
Marvel Spider-Man 2 has been rated for launch, and it features horrifying language like ass and prick. Earlier today on June 15th, Gematsu noted on Twitter that the ESRB had rated Marvel Spider-Man 2 for launch in North America, bestowing upon it a T for teen rating. The rating is chiefly down to blood, drug reference, mild language, and violence, according to the ESRB's website. Some enemies use pistols and or machine guns during combat. Gunshots sometimes result in small splashes of blood. The rating further reads, small splashes of blood, surely not. A character is also choked to death, according to the ESRB, but we can't really see Peter or Miles doing the choking personally. There's also a dead body turned over and blood drops on a leaf, the latter of which sounds like a weird art house film. The words prick and ass appear in the game. The ESRB rating concludes, and it doesn't take a linguistic genius to figure out the terrible language here. Prick and ass. Considering Marvel's Spider-Man 2 features the monster's venom, we're honestly a little surprised there isn't a little more blood highlighted in the ESRB's rating. Maybe Peter and Miles will just be that good at putting venom on a leash and preventing him from consuming people. Marvel Spider-Man 2 finally launches later this year on October 20th exclusively for the PS5. Some fans think Spider-Man 2 could be dabbling in the multiverse, with its many characters, but we'll have to wait until launch to find out whether we're getting Spider-Ham or someone a little more serious. So let's first go into the MSRB rating. I might just talk about some other shit after that. First of all, let's talk about like the blood. So like blood, I think blood and gore usually, I think and, you know, that's usually okay with him. Like, cause, I don't think we should have children watching people get mauled to death. And I guess someone is getting choked in the game. And I'm going to make a guess here. First of all, I don't own any PlayStation, I don't own a PlayStation or I don't own a PS5 or a PS4. I have an Xbox and I have a Nintendo Switch. I might get a Steam Deck. I'm thinking about getting a Steam Deck. And if they release it for PC or on Steam, then I can play it. Because they did release the first one on Steam, so might be up in the air for Daddy to be playing soon. So yeah, that's gonna be cool. So I'm gonna make a guess here. Not even playing the first two games. I know it's Spider-Man 2, but so it's Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2. I feel like it shouldn't be Spider-Man 2. I feel like it should just be like a new thing, because I guess Miles and Peter Parker are gonna be in this game. So like, maybe just call it Spider-Man Venom or something like that. Because I guess Venom's gonna be a big thing here, but when it's blood and gore and stuff like that, and even then, I'm like, does anyone actually like seeing, like, do you think Deadpool needs to have an R? Do you watch Deadpool for all like the blood and gore? Like, it's cool seeing someone go like ham on someone, like just chopping off heads and shit. But at the same time, it's like, we don't need to see like super gory stuff. I'm like, I'm not interested in seeing that. I don't think it makes a story or like a medium better by seeing all that stuff, And at the same time, they can't. It's always going to look fake, CGI or with practical effects. It's always going to look fake. So I don't mind it. If like someone's head gets chopped off, they kind of like Count Dooku was in the third Star Wars, episode 3 Star Wars. Like they like clearly his head got chopped off, and his head got chopped off. But he didn't have to be like seeing like his blood leaving his body and and shit like that, But for the language, I think is funny. It's like they do say ass in the game, and teenagers have never, kids have never heard the word ass before. I guarantee most children have been called a dumbass, and so I think they've heard the word ass. And you know what ass stands for? Butt. It's just your butt, So like. And even then, like, I don't even get why people get so, like, oh, cuss words, I'm like, fuck you. Like, cuss, like, really words that aren't even, like, trying, for the most part, not trying to tear you down. He's like, you go up to someone that's like, man, today's workout really kicked my ass. He's like, oh, swearing. Grow the fuck up, dude. Like, kids will hear the word fucking ass, and they'll hear the word ass, and then they'll just be like, okay, and if I say it in front of mom, I'm going to get in trouble, so I'm not going to say it in front of mom. And stuff like that. Yeah. Multiverse thoughts on this before we wrap this up. Do I think they're going to dive into the multiverse? I mean, if it's going to dive in the multiverse, it's going to be, like, in conjunction with, like Across the Spider-Verse and then Beyond the Spider-Verse. It's going to be in conjunction with that or like in the Sony properties. People technically like, and it's weird because now I think we've confirmed technically the Sony movies do take place in the MCU in the multiverse. They confirmed that because this is not really a spoiler, but into Across the Spider-Verse, like they show like what the multiverse looks like, and it clearly looks like the branch timelines that like they showed in the Loki series and Quantumania and stuff like that. So it's really cool. That was really cool, and they mentioned, technically they mentioned the good MCU's Peter Parker, and then they showed clips from Andrew and Toby in the movie, and technically they went into, I think for the most part, they went into Tom Holland's verse, but like, remember the multiverse is so infinite that it's like, it could be a version of them where everything happened exactly the same, but like one thing is slightly different or whatever, cool stuff. Anyways, though, hopefully, if I ever get a Steam Deck, hopefully that comes to Steam, and that way I can play it and stuff like that, so. Be cool to that's the way it is. Have you ever been out in public and thought, hey, look at that fat guy, only for it to turn out to be a mirror and you are in fact the fat guy. That was the moment that kickstarted me into becoming the greatest health expert the world has ever seen. But I wasn't born being built different. Like Joe Cocker before me, I get by with a little help from my friends. And my friends happen to be today's sponsor, FNX Fitness. FNX Fitness is committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality that provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support an active lifestyle for years to come. I also really enjoy their clothing line that makes you look good while you work out as well. Another thing I love about FNX Fitness is that with every purchase, they donate a gallon of water to a child in need. Start working out smarter, not harder, by using the link in our description today. You can save 15% on your purchase. Go save 15% on some of the best supplements out there when using the link in our description. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. When you're at the beach, you aren't going there naked, letting everyone see your little shrunken PP from being in the water. No, you're wearing some sort of clothing to cover up your privates. So why would you let companies you buy products from have access to the privates of your credit cards? That's where today's sponsor, Privacy, becomes the clothing for your credit card information. Privacy is the first payment product that keeps your personal information private while being even more convenient than using a physical payment card online. Privacy empowers you to protect your physical card information. Each merchant you share your card information with puts you more at risk to hackers or data breaches. Why not use a privacy card instead? By creating a virtual card with privacy for each merchant you shop with, your physical card is safe and secure. Privacy cards can be paused or closed at any time, preventing any future transactions from being authorized. Privacy cards can also be single-use, meaning they close after just one authorized transaction. One of my favorite ways to use privacy is for a service with a free trial that requires you to put in a credit card to sign up. But wait, there's more. By using the link in our description, you can get $5 to spend anywhere. That's money you get to use. So start paying the smart way with Privacy. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Shiny happy people, Duggar Family Secrets, available right now on Amazon Prime. I'm here to tell you, I watched it. And I'm here to tell you, I'm going to talk about it for a while. So,
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
strap in, folks. So, I was always able to, I grew up, well, I'm about to say, I grew up Christian. And, yeah, the Duggar family, it was always kind of like a TV show, like one of the few TV shows I think a lot of, at least Christians I knew, watched. So, and I think the Duggar situation, the 19 and Counting, believe the show is called. I think the show, 19 Kids and Counting, and that was TLC's like first reality show. It was like one of the first reality shows that TLC ever made. So, I think there's a lot of things we can blame the Duggars for, and they inspired TLC to make shitty shows that are very enjoyable to watch. I think about TLC shows all the time, and at one point I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. But I continue to watch. I continue to see what new programming they have. I need to watch MILF Manor. I realize I've never watched MILF Manor. And, so the whole Duggar situation, I've been able to avoid it. And so, nice thing about me, it's like, I always knew the oldest son, we're going to get into him. We're going to fucking talk about him. So I don't feel like, are you going to skip him? No. We're going to talk about him. Documentary series, Shiny Happy People. It's about the Duggar family. Jim Bob, just like, if you said, like, his name is Jim Bob, guess what state he's from? You're going to say Arkansas, probably. And you'd be right. And Michelle Duggar, that's his wife. But in their cult, do wives matter? If they, I guess wives do matter, but unless they're barren, then they shouldn't be having sins. And, so the show 19 Kids and Counting, it shows the wacky life of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar and their 19 children. It's a show about how a woman about how a man cannot keep his hands off his wife. You know, it's weird because like Christians are so very like against sex, and like it seems like they're against sex to a point because I guess the idea that they're talking about is what Christians typically believe, like you have to save sex until marriage, and God will bless you with a great sex life. That's what they say, and then it gets so crazy, and I think it's gone to a point where with like Christianity and like sex and you know we have purity culture and everything like that, where it's like sex. Most Christians, I guarantee, even if they don't say it, they believe that sex should only be made to create children. Like that, thousands of Christians believe that, and probably millions of Christians to be honest with you. And so this cult, they're part of the IBLP. Which stands for Institute in Basic Life Principles. Let's read what Wikipedia has to say on that. The Institute in Basic Life Principles, IBLP, is a non-denominational Christian organization that serves as an umbrella organization for several ministries established by American Christian minister Bill Gothard in 1961. The stated purpose of the organization is to provide instructions on how to find success in life by following biblical principles. This involves programs that include seminars for ministry, community outreach, troubled youth mentoring, and an international ministry. Children are expected to be homeschooled, to always obey their fathers, and adhere strictly to IBLP's interpretations of biblical scripture. The IBLP has been alleged by some to be a cult. By some, I think it is a cult. I don't think you can allege that shit isn't a cult. Like, I would love someone. Please leave me a comment. Someone leave a comment here. Give me a reason why IBLP is not a cult. If you can explain to me how that is not a cult, I'll be more than happy to listen to it. It's because all religions are cults, if you didn't know that. So, this is, and, you know, what else? What do I have to say? Oh, yeah, to prove it's a cult. Wait. Oh, what makes, I wrote down on my notes. I'm like trying to write down my notes. IBLP, why IBLP is a note. Here's what I found. Don Vinote, president of Midwest Christian Outreach, says that the charismatic leader, authoritarian control, isolation of members, severe punishments, and demand for absolute and blind loyalty add up to IBLP being cult-like. Now, I don't know Don Vinote, not John Voight, fucking George Costanza bought his car. Midwest Christian Outreach. So I guess he's still in the Christian shit, but it's not a cult. So, but he knows it's a cult. So yeah, basically he nailed it like right on the head. They have a charismatic leader. Does your religion have a charismatic leader? If so, you might be in a cult. Does your religion have authoritarian control? And you're like, no, they don't. And then you're thinking about it, like, yeah, I think they do. I think he might be in a cult. Isolation of members, that's narcissist. That's being a narcissistic boyfriend 101. Like, isolate her from her friends. That's what. That's that shit. So if someone's trying to isolate you from other people, they're the problem. It's them. Hi, they're the problem. It's them. Severe punishments, yeah, you know, and demand for absolute and blind loyalty add up to IBL. Yeah, blind loyalty. What would I say? Let me look into like what I grew up, because I just grew up in the non-denominational, aka Republican Christian. If you want to get really into it, or Diet Baptist, if you want to say that. Did I have a charismatic leader? I've been to some places where like the pastor was kind of had a celebrity to them, but never to like that extent. Like everyone drank the Kool-Aid. Authoritarian control. I never really had authoritarian control. Isolation of members, yeah, I've had that. Like you shouldn't be hanging out with your non-Christian. You should only be hanging out with Christians. You should only be listening to Christian music. You should only be watching Christian movies. You only can do anything if it's Jesus is involved. In the bread. Severe punishments. I don't think I had severe punishments. No, I didn't have that. Demand for absolute and blind loyalty. To blind loyalty to their beliefs. I think, you talk about, you gotta have faith, the faith. Yeah, you gotta have faith, the faith. Woo. So yeah, I think blind loyalty to, scripture, and that's why, and so, so one of the big things I think I came out of this with is just how much brainwashing and how bad homeschooling is, because I'm not talking about first of all, but I really want to say this. This is my honest thoughts on kids who are homeschooled. I know I think I actually learned I had another one. I know 2 people who are homeschooled. 2 people. I'm not going to name who they are. They're my friend. They're still friends of mine. 2 people, still really good friends of mine. I'm telling you, 2 friends. How many people do I know who've been homeschooled? I would say I would say at least I've met at least maybe 1,000 people who've been homeschooled, and at least can prove my point here. None of them got a good only those 2 friends I have are the only 2 people I know who had a real education. Everyone else had their mom sitting them down and talking about leaves in the Bible. That was their education. At a point where some of these friends I have their education is so bad they can't even through whatever homeschool system they're doing, they legitimately don't even have a high school degree. No high school diploma. If they actually do, because a lot of times if they're homeschooled, education, public school is going to brainwash my kids. College is going to brainwash my kids to no longer see the isolation of members. That's what they're doing. So they're isolating kids from such a young age. That way they have, obviously, we're talking about cults, blind loyalty, and not a proper education and stuff like that. And so it's become a real problem. And I bet some homeschool kids are going to be I got a real education. And I'm going to guarantee, no, you didn't. I'm going to guarantee that you did not have a real education saying that you're homeschooled. And you know why? Because I guarantee you, if I gave you the script to this episode and I told you to read it out loud, you would read it let's read the Don Benoit. You would read it like this. Don Benoit, president of Midwest Christian Outreach, says that the charismatic leader, that word's long, authoritarian. See, you be reading it like that. You barely read, okay? If you're homeschooled, you can't read, okay? Only the 2 people I know who are homeschooled, who got a real education, know how to read, and it's not you. Some of you may know some of you know, and I bet some of you are I got a real education. I really doubt. And even then, and I'm going to say they're my friends too, but I do want to say, did they get a real education? It's just it's just the fact that they could probably the only 2 I know, but most homeschool kids are going there. So kids who were homeschooled from a young age and just brainwashed and separated from their peers, normal kids their own age, they're only the biggest social interaction was maybe church and youth group or talking to their other siblings. It's just such a bad thing. I'm not saying homeschool for the most part, it's this Christian homeschool shit, when it's Christian homeschool, it's bad. If it's not if it's just normal homeschool, I think you might be fine. But if it's Christian, I don't even know how they get away with that shit. I don't know how it's even legal in the United States for you to be homeschooled. It's just oh, you know how every kid has to go to school? Well, sometimes parents can say no, and they learned that Jesus was white. And he was born in America, and he died for our right to bear arms. That's what they're fucking teaching these kids. Now these kids are grown up, okay? These kids are grown up now, and they're entering politics because what they're doing is they're entering politics because they're brainwashed from such a young age, and they're going to now go into public. They're running as Republicans, and that's why we get some of these fucking idiots joining Congress, fucking Marjorie. I don't know if Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Boebert. I don't know if they were homeschooled, but they're the type of people that they're attracting. So and they're public, and they're the ones making our laws right now. That's why Roe v. Wade got overturned. The narrative down is because of all these homeschool brainwashing of kids at such a young age and telling them that they have to go into politics and brainwashing them into going into politics and furthering their fucking Handmaid's Tale agenda. It is the fucking craziest shit. And I never connected the dots before. And I'm like, that makes total sense, especially coming from them. Because the church I went to, like, we had some kids who went to public school, and, like, you know, I knew them because I went to public school. My parents were both teachers. Like, I'm not being homeschooled. And then there was just the group of homeschool kids. And the group of homeschool kids looked exactly like these Duggar kids back in the day. You know, they looked just like it. They're all into, like, horses for some reason. I don't know why all the girls are into horse. It's like Christian horse. Like, why are they all into horses? Like, I was like, that's the only... is it because... Did I just make another connection that it's because... you know, when women like riding horses because, like, the up and down vibration of it all. It's like, is that why homeschool girls are into horses so much? God damn. Anyways, though, if you're homeschooled, go fuck yourself. Now let's talk about Josh Duggar. Okay, first of all, we all knew he was a creep. Like, you can't tell me, you don't name a baby Josh. You're just a guy named Josh. Like, you're not a baby. You can't be a baby and be named Josh. Like, you know, if you name a baby Josh, you're just fucking dooming the kid for all existence. Why would you name a kid fucking Josh, dude? You could name him any other name in the world. You know, like those Payson. You know, I've seen Payson. That's a dumb fucking name. Hazley. If you think if you're gonna name your kid Hazley, cut your throat, okay? You know, not literally, but like in the figurative sense. Don't procreate if you're gonna name. If you're gonna, you know, at the hospital, they should look at the name, and if the name is something really fucking stupid, you don't get to keep the kid. I think that should be a rule in hospitals. If you name the kid something stupid, you don't get to keep the kid, okay? You know, okay, that's just stupid. Unless, you have to be like, oh, so what is that name from? And if it's something foreign, foreign names are fine, okay? I don't want everyone named like Samuel and Steven. Like, we don't need a bunch of those. We have enough Stevens out there, okay? We have too many Stevens. But if you're named like Hazley, if you're naming a kid Hazley, yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to keep the kid. Like, we're gonna give the kid a new name and a better parents, you know? We're giving one of those parents who can't have kids. You're like, we're just be like the dumb name department. So yeah, these parents, we determined these parents are too fucking stupid to keep the kid. Pick out whichever one you want. You know, pick out, you know, and you know, it's mainly a white people thing. You know, it's usually a white people thing. Like, there's gonna be a lot of white babies, and those are I don't know. I kind of like Asian. I think Asian babies are better. I think Asian babies are pretty valuable, but then, like, the white babies, like, second place. White babies were second place to Asian babies, okay? What Asian country? Doesn't matter. So, anyways, though, like, we all knew Josh Duggar was a fucking creep. And, yeah, and, you know, like, he deserves to be in jail. He was such a fucking messed up dude. And I feel like there's something psychologically wrong with him. I never watched the show, but I feel like there is something psychologically wrong with him. And, like, if you're a parent, you're like, oh, my kid's wants to diddle kids. You're like, and he, you know, I don't know, do we just put him down, or what do we do? If you're, like, attracted to kids, are you, and I don't know, like, the moment you try to attempt something, do we just need to put you down? You know, a lot of people would say, yes, but it's like, there's one thing, like, yeah, I'm actually attracted to children, but I've decided to never fuck a child, though, because I realize it's wrong. And I'm just going to find a wife that looks really young and make her do surgeries to always look young. You know, I think that's what normal guys do. But, and then if you don't, maybe we just put you down, you know? We should be able to put humans down, you know? We put dogs down. And I'm going to say a lot of dogs should be living. If they're biting people, though, you know? Even if humans bite people, we should put those people down, too. If dogs, like, there's some dogs who are just like, Jesus fucking Christ, what fucking psycho bought you, dude? You see some dogs like that, it's like, why don't you just adopt a dog? It's like, oh, first of all, this dog hates men and bites anyone who comes anywhere near it. Like, this dog is dangerous. Whatever, anyways, though, we're not talking about that. So anyways, though, do y'all know a homeschool kid? Educate them on the world and how their beliefs are stupid. And so, And if you know anyone in a cult, kid them, help them out, folks. You know, sometimes, but like you have people like Josh Duggar's wife, like who grew up in the cult, doesn't know any better, and so that's why she's like still in the cult because she doesn't know, like, you know, you can leave and just, you know, live a normal life, you know, stuff like that. You don't have to still be married to Josh Duggar, you know. You know, you don't have to be married to guys named Josh, you know. Divorce exists, you know. You could, well, honestly, you could just not get married to the guy named Josh to begin with. I think that's going to be the easiest answer. So anyways, what did we learn here? Homeschool kids are in cults. They don't have a real education. And don't marry a guy named Josh. Like, if you, once you put pen to paper on that marriage certificate and, like, there's, like, they see Josh or Joshua written down there, you put pen to paper, you made your own mistakes in life, and you got to fix your own mistakes. Like, sometimes you got to make your bed and then sleep. That's I always thought that was a weird thing. Like, you made your bed, now lie in it. Like, don't you lie under the bed? Like, you unmake the bed to sleep on. You don't just sleep on fucking top of the bed. You don't like, all right, I made my bed today, now I'm gonna sleep on top of it. You know. Anyways, cool stuff. All right, I want to talk about The Flash. No spoilers for The Flash. I literally saw it today as I'm recording this. So I wanted to talk about this. I enjoyed The Flash. I enjoyed this movie. I've been a big proponent of the Snyderverse. I always thought the Snyderverse, I'm a creative person myself, so I really like the Snyderverse because he was doing something different with these DC movies than, like, I don't think anyone would ever even, we're never going to even get close to anything that Zack Snyder attempted at in film again. Like, we're never going to get anywhere close to that. It's going to be, we're going to get DC's version of the MCU, maybe a Chris Pratt no, I swear to God. James Gunn did say that because this Superman Legacy is going to be the first DCU movie. He did say that, and he's like, oh yeah, one character from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is going to make it. One character is going to for sure appear. It's going to be his wife. Harcourt? Yeah, it's Harcourt? Is that? I feel like that's wrong. It's a Jennifer Holland's character. I think it's Harcourt. She was in Peacemaker. She had a brief cameo in Black Adam. She was in the post-credits for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. That movie. Peacemaker, The Suicide Squad. So I guarantee she's gonna be in. She's gonna be in the new Superman movie. But I enjoyed liking this. This is basically either this movie or I guess the Aquaman movie is gonna be the finale of the Snyderverse era of DC films, and I thought this movie, what I really thought was going to happen with this movie, okay? What I really thought was going to happen with this movie is, you know, I've read the Flashpoint. I've read that comic, and it's a really good story. If you want to listen to it, really, they based this movie off of that. Kind of at the end of the movie, the timeline's kind of reset. Every time there's the reason why they call it a flashpoint, I think it's because basically the timeline is being reset. And, and what I'll say there is, that's what I thought was going to happen. It's going to reset, and then we're going to be in the James Gunn DCU. We're going to be in that universe. Boy, was I wrong. I thought that was going to happen. It basically kind of went back to the Snyderverse or just fucking DC without anything or whatever. And I totally thought that. And they could have made that happen. Like, they really could have made that work. However, what they did, they had a cameo, very, like, last moment of the film, too. When you see the film, you'll notice. And I think that, for me, like, discourages. I'm like, I don't think this is the new DCU. You know, because I think I was expecting at the end of the movie to be like, oh, wow, this is what's going to be the DCU moving forward. The Flash messed up the timeline, you know, so much with those little shenanigans. And yeah, now for the most part, we're in the DCU, no longer the DCEU, the DCU. James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC. So it's they may change it, but yeah, because I thought they were going to show a new Batman. I mean, they kind of did, but I thought that was going to show the casting of who this new Batman was going to be. That's what I thought I heard from spoilers or whatever, not from like someone who reviewed another spoiler-free review of the movie, someone who watched it at like CinemaCon. So it's also interesting. Now, the age-old question. A couple weeks ago, we asked the question: is the Flash movie going to be so good as Ezra Miller's performance as Barry Allen the Flash? Is it going to be so good that we're all going to forget all the shitty things he's done? And I've come to you with an answer. No, he still did a lot of shitty things. I think he's trying to get better, though. I'm a big believer in forgiveness. But there's like forgiveness. I think forgiveness. I think you should forgive people, but always be weary of trust. Because it was like just because someone forgives you doesn't mean they can still fully trust you. Because you can only, you really got to let people like. It's a really good moral in life for people to say like, hey, I want to make sure that anyone can trust me, and stuff like that. And you don't want people to lose that trust in you. So you don't want to do that. But he did a great job. He was phenomenal because a lot of the time he was acting with himself. And for those of you who don't know, they didn't find a guy who looked just like him and talked just like him and acted just like him. That was Ezra Miller basically played two roles in this movie. Maybe more, maybe less, but for sure two. That was in the trailer. I can tell you that. At least there's two. Maybe there's more. I don't know. No spoilers. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna forget all the shitty things he did. I don't think this is a forgiveness type of situation. I think for the most part, I think Ezra Miller. I think he's got a lot of his PR team's gonna do some work. Supergirl, they added Supergirl. She was in the promo material. So basically, all you knew who was promo material. Zod was coming back. We all knew that. It says Superman's gonna be Supergirl, which if you read the Flashpoint comic, basically, what happened in the comic. I want to say it's either Russia or in Metropolis. Basically, I don't know if it was Russia or Metropolis but basically in the Flashpoint series, what happens is Barry goes back in time to save his mom, similar to this movie. However, when he gets back to the present, it's because going back in the past, and it's a weird with these DC multiverse or the time travel is if you affect something in the past, it's going to ripple out and change a whole bunch of other things. And what happened with the Flashpoint is when instead of Bruce Wayne's parents getting shot, just Bruce and Martha, only they got shot. So Thomas Wayne survived, and then Thomas Wayne became Batman, but he became kind of a very brutal Batman. Like a very, very brutal. I think he kills, maybe, but I don't know. And, so that's the story, and then a lot of other stuff happens in the story, too. But yeah, I think they made older Bruce Wayne be Michael Keaton. I thought that was really cool. Which is now weird to think if it's like the Michael Keaton universe, like, oh, Zod still attacked in that. And then in the regular Snyderverse, like, Batfleck, like, he really tried to help people a lot in there. But, like, in this one, he was literally going to be, like, just sitting at his home, this little fucking, who directed the movie? The Edward Scissorhands. Batman 1989. God damn it, who am I? Tim Burton, that's it. So, yeah, Tim Burton, a little fucking Tim Burton Batman house, Fucking just gonna sit there while fucking Zod destroys the world. You want to get nuts? Let's go to nuts. Shit like that. you also know from the trailer, Michael Keaton was great in the movie, by the way, I think. But I do think Supergirl was really underwhelming. And I feel like a lot of scenes with Supergirl got cut. Supergirl was, oh, but yeah, the Flash one, if I ever got back to that. Basically what happened, I want to say it's Metropolis he got sent to. So basically, with the Barry's Ripple in Time, it got, basically instead of landing in Smallville, Kansas on the Kent farm, he kind of landed near Metropolis, and, the U.S., the military or whatever, found, Superman, and instead of, raising him to be a normal boy, they kept him in like a red lit room, to imitate like a red sun, because Superman gets his powers from Earth's sun, because Earth's sun is special somehow for Kryptonians. So yeah, basically like that, and then, so there's all, in superhero movie adaptations, I gotta say, The Flash, adapting Flashpoint was probably the most accurate in a live action movie to its base material. But there's a lot of changes from the original Flashpoint story. But if you haven't read the Flashpoint story, it's a really good read. I would definitely suggest reading it. All comic books are online now. Like, you just fucking pull it up on your phone or your iPad or whatever. The iPad is so good for comics, It's like buying physical comics is like really the only reason you do that is now for like collecting. Because I just feel like even on like your computer or like a physical computer or iPad or phone, like that's just the best way. Like literally, I think my favorite way to read a comic. So yeah, I think though, like we all knew going into this that Ezra Miller was going to play 2 Barry Allens. I think it would be more interesting if they had like Grant Gustin. I think that's the guy who played the Flash on the CW, that like show that I am not interested in whatsoever because I've seen the CGI. I'm like, this show, like seeing the show now, I think it's canceled now, but seeing the show is like, this show has jumped the shark. This show probably jumped the shark very early. Like, there's so many seasons of that show. And I'm like, I'm not interested in watching any of that shit. A lot of the, like those CW DC shows, just like, hey, do you want to make the worst version of this particular medium? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that on the fucking CW. Jeremiah Watkins, he made a skit. It's if Spider-Man was on the CW. I think he did it with like Jesse Johnson. God, it was so fucking funny. Anyways, though, all we have to say though is IMDb rated this movie 7.4 out of 10. IMDb that's on it. What am I fucking saying? 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score is 86. I would say I probably agree most with the IMDb scores. 7.4, maybe 75%, maybe even 79. I could even give it that. If you're a fan of the Snyderverse, I think you'll enjoy this, and you kind of got to see what actual potential could have happened with the Snyderverse if people didn't fucking hate it from the beginning. It's like, Zack Snyder's directing it. Fuck that. This is going to ruin it. Like, you haven't even seen the fucking movie yet. Like, at least let him make the movie and then say, like, that fucking sucked. Like, people were like, oh, Ben Affleck is going to be Batman. Everyone was like, fuck, he's already the worst Batman. Like, he hasn't even played the role yet. It's 2000. They haven't even made the movie. They haven't even started filming that movie yet. And people were like, he's the worst Batman. I'm like, I think Ben Affleck was a great Batman. Jared Leto's Joker, until we see the Ayer cut, he can be the worst Joker, okay? I think that's fine. But Ben Affleck as Batman, I think he was a pretty good Batman. I really liked Ben Affleck's portrayal as Bruce Wayne, though. I think he's my favorite portrayal of Bruce Wayne. And people are going to be a hater in the comments. But, like, guess what? If you already hate a movie, don't watch it, That's like my feel. Like, if you know you hate this movie, just don't. If you're like, I hate that movie. Have you even seen it? No. Like, you're those people. And DC fans really, oh man. Just like Zack Snyder, like, if you understand Zack Snyder's filmmaking and like his art form, like the way he makes his art, like, God, it's so good. But anyways, though, The Flash, what I feel like is the end of the Snyderverse, unless, I don't know, unless Aquaman counts, Unless Amber Heard took a big dump on that already. And, we'll see. Anyways, though, go see The Flash. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Please talk to me about it. And all that stuff. Have you ever cracked open a cold one with the boys? the vibes are on, then all of a sudden you are out of cold ones. Though the vibes are still on, the vibes will soon go off because you are out of cold ones. There's no need to drive when you're under the vibes. That's why today's sponsor Drizly is here to make sure that the vibes continue. Drizly gets all your favorite beer, seltzer, wine, whiskey, and much more delivered directly to your home. With their easy-to-use mobile app, we are getting one step closer to never leaving our homes. You know it's saying something when it's being praised as the Amazon for liquor. Drizly is my go-to app for getting all the booze I need so I can do other things. So using our link in the description today, you can save $5 off your first purchase through Drizly. Drizly has proprietary ID verification technology that it provides to its retail partners that allows drivers to scan IDs for more than a barcode to make sure the purchaser is over 21 years old in the US and of legal drinking age in Canada. Retailers on Drizly may have a minimum order or delivery fee. So using our link in the description, get $5 off your first order with Drizly. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. You're not a boomer who still goes to what our ancient civilizations called a store. You buy everything on the internet like a modern individual. What if I could tell you that you could be saving more on your purchases by only making a few clicks on your computer? That's where today's sponsor, Honey, will change your life. Honey is a free browser extension you can download using the link in our description of this episode. Honey searches the entire internet for promo code, coupon codes, free shipping, and anything else that will save you money when buying things online. It is 100% free, and at no point will you have to pay for it with all of those many microtransactions. It's as simple as pressing a single button and you can start saving money. Not using Honey is basically throwing money away that could be saved for more important things. I recently had to get business cards for myself, and Honey literally saved me 60% on a pack of 500 business cards. It was amazing. Add the Honey extension to your browser today for free by using the link in our description of this episode. And when you use our links, you directly support this show.
Oh no! Our table!
Alright, it's time for Oh No, Our Table, the part of the podcast where I go over all your questions, comments, thoughts, problems, and solutions. I give you the solutions. I'm going to teach you more in the next 20 some minutes than you will have ever learned in college, okay? Why would I go to college when Cancel Schweezy is free? That's what you're saying to yourself right now. And I'm here to tell you.
This is the type of guy you get.
Is foreplay necessary from a guy's perspective? Do guys prefer to have a little foreplay before having sex, or are you skipping that and get going directly? So I think the best answer I'm able to give to the ladies interested, I think, yes, I do believe men need foreplay just as much as women do. However, I think what women prefer as foreplay gets to be the definition of foreplay, and what's considered foreplay for men is not necessarily what I say will be the correct, will be the same. Because, what works for women in foreplay? You're talking to the fucking foreplay king here. What works for women in foreplay doesn't necessarily work for men with foreplay. What you do, foreplay for a woman, really, it really helps out a woman. But that, most of the time, that does nothing for a man but give him blue balls. So, legit does nothing for a man but give him blue balls. However, though, I do want to say here, there is foreplay for men, okay? Foreplay for men does exist. Do the ladies here want to know what that is? I wish I had a live audience. Ladies, do you want to know what foreplay for men is? Yeah, okay. Foreplay for men is basically, what foreplay for men, needs, ladies, just suck his dick, dude. Or touch his dick, You just need, I think women like to be touched all over. I know. I'm the fucking foreplay king. But, women prefer, I think most of the time, a lot of times women prefer you touch anywhere but their vag. Men, on the other hand, you only have to touch his dick, okay? Maybe a finger in the butt. That's some guys. Some guys don't like that. But really just penis touches. That's all really men need for foreplay. Just Start rubbing on them, but put those balls in your jaws. Can he put his balls in your jaws? Your jaws, balls in your jaws. Can I? I figured out how to do AI, and I can make a lot of people be singing that fucking song, dude. Yeah, but I think because necessarily what is foreplay for a woman doesn't necessarily translate over on genders. Ladies, if you want to do foreplay for a man, just start touching his dick. That's all you have to do. Dick touches, dick sucks. That's why a guy will, like, ladies, that's why, if you ever wonder, like, why a guy does certain things and why women, you know, and vice versa, fellas, if you ever wonder why a woman prefers a certain thing, they probably prefer that it happen to them if they're doing it on you. They probably prefer that you do it to them. Vice versa. That's why guys will go like straight to fingering. You know, that's why some guys think foreplay is just start fingering a girl, start flicking that bean. If you know what I'm saying? It's not, you know, that's why some guys do it like, oh, it's really dry down there and that's really uncomfortable when I stick my 2 fingers, 3 fingers if she's crazy, 2 fingers, 2 fingers in there dry. Like, you gotta, it's not how women like to be warmed up. Women need to be warm. You know, women have other ways to be warmed up. And I should sign up. I should teach a master class or like a Skillshare class on on fucking foreplay. Know how fucking hilarious that would be. I finally got a class because I think I've heard like I've never gotten any good offers that would be financially viable, but like doing like a podcasting, at least audio podcasting. I don't know if we're the best video podcast, but like audio wise, I think we've been crisp since day one, folks. Crisp since day one. So yeah, so ladies, just touch his dick. Girlfriend says I don't have to worry about her not being able to consent when drunk since we're dating. Can she? I've only ever been friends with benefit with people and have always shut them down when drunk since it seemed like the right thing to do. But I'm dating this girl now and she tells me it's no worry since we're in a relationship and sexually active. I'm still not sure, is this actually fine? Okay, so I think this can be dangerous territory, but I think the understanding on your end is a little different. From what I'm getting and what I'm assuming the context of the situation is that, so technically, just because a girl is drunk and she wants to have sex with you isn't technically, or if you're drunk and you're trying to, or if you try to convince a girl who's drunk to have sex with you and she eventually caves in or whatever, you know, that's not always like consent, you know? It's not always like you're manipulating someone who's drunk, like, you know? But in your situation, you're dating and stuff like that. So what she's saying is that if I'm drunk and you want to have sex and you convince me to have sex with you while I'm drunk, that is consent. I am consenting to that. And I think you should don't feel weird or anything if that's the case, you know. If the case is where she is drunk and she has sex with you and you're like, I don't know, you're drunk. I don't know if we can really consider this consent. I think what she's telling you is, yeah, if I'm drunk and we're trying to have sex, it's fine. You know, it's no big deal. You know, it's better to be safe than sorry. I think you're good here on that because you're being safe and making sure everything is fine. So I think that not every situation is like this, though. I think it depends woman to woman. You know, if I'm drunk, do not try to have sex with me. But like you're also in a relationship too, and so I think it's good. That's a good communication. But I think you're also, you know, I think if you were raised right, you know, like, you know, if you haven't been drinking and a woman's drunk and you try to have, I think it's different if she tries to have sex with you. You know, I think at that point, you know, fellas, if she's drunk and you're sober and she's trying to have sex with you, I think it's fine. You know, like. If she has a problem with that, like, you shouldn't have had sex with me, I was drunk. I'm like, she offered, and if you can't, you know, it's something like, if you can't handle your alcohol like that, and you're having sex with men you don't want to have sex with, you may need to control it. But like, but fellas, you know, you need to be responsible, and you know, there's stuff like that. But I'm just talking about your specific situation. I'm going to say is, You know, if she's drunk, and make sure she wants to have, even if she's drunk and she wants to have sex with you, I do think you'll be fine. So I think you're worrying a little too much about that. I think you can calm your tits. I think we say,
This is the type of guy you get.
in this time again, let her know that, you know, that'd be the funniest shit that you ever want to hear. Do you prefer girls with or without makeup? Okay. I've thought about this a lot, and here's the correct answer, because it's my answer, and meaning that it's the correct answer. I don't mind it if a girl wears makeup, you know. I think we know when it's too much makeup, and I think, isn't, to me, I guess most of the point with makeup is it to not be super noticeable. Like, not a lot of guys are into chicks who like have to spend an hour putting on makeup, and it's like almost just a thick ass layer of makeup you can see like all over your face, and like you can see where like the neck and the face split, you know, and how the makeup doesn't really blend in. You can clearly tell it's like not bad, and it's just clown looking. And from what I know about makeup these days, you're like, well, not all of us can afford expensive makeup. I'm like, doesn't every YouTuber, every lady YouTuber have their own like makeup line? And all that shit is, I'm gonna answer a little secret for you. All it is, it's just drop ship bullshit, you know? Basically, like, I guarantee you multiple different YouTubers and other influencers who have their own makeup line, I bet all their makeup is probably the same. It's just marked at different prices. But they probably go into like Alibaba or AliExpress or something similar to that. What they do is they get that. What they do is they just order something in bulk, put their own branding and shit on it, sell it through their store, or send it to Amazon and shit like that. That's probably all it is. It's just drop shipped cheap shit, you know. Like, and you know, they're paying nothing for that shit, and you're paying a lot. You know, a lot of people pay a lot. So I really do think, yeah, you could probably find makeup. And I'm a guy, so I don't know how much I know about makeup. Makeup is a big ass rabbit hole, dude. Not something I want to get into. And contouring, you know, and doing your makeup every day. So I think the best answer is to say, yeah, I don't mind it, but at the end of the day, and this goes out to all ladies. This is a me thing, but this goes out to all the ladies out there. A man should love you, you know, when you're looking your best. You know, if you're wearing makeup and you think, and a lot of times the case is you wearing makeup is you making yourself look the best you can be. I think that's the case. However, though, a man needs to fall in love with a woman's no makeup face, you know? That face and that look, a man needs to fall in love with that. If a man only wants to love you when you're wearing makeup, that's the problem. He has to love you without it. And I think when the change between the two is super drastic, I think it really can speak volumes. And so my thing is, if it looks too crazy, the lady's probably crazy. You know, sometimes when it's too much, it just looks bad, you know. It's too much of a good thing, I think I want to say. No, it's like people with beards who don't like trim their neckline, or especially like above like the cheek area where, like, you know, it's like it's kind of spaced out, you know, it doesn't look neat, you know. I think it's kind of like, I think that's the way, because I think I heard like facial hair for men is basically basically what makeup for women is, you know. That's why I've been like slowly growing a beard over the past couple of years. But do I prefer girls with or without? I think if in a perfect society without makeup, but I live in the real world, and I don't live in a fucking fairy tale. So what I will say is, yeah, I don't mind if a girl wears makeup. There is such a thing as too much, but also like he has to fall in love with your no makeup face. So always keep that in mind and keep it in your heart. Open up your heart to me in your arms. Do I have Let's Go Full Throttle?
Let's go full throttle.
There we go. Let's go full throttle. What is the actual normal / casual amount of alcohol for an adult to drink? Real stupid question here, not asking healthy because I know the answer is none. I'm asking what the norm. I'm disordered in multiple ways and aware that I have no idea what normal is anymore and there's no one I can ask, so there's that. What's the normal amount / frequency for an adult to drink? I'm probably the worst person to be asking this question. I actually, I don't know. Am I going to quit drinking? No, but I think I'm going to really cut back. I'm trying to, if you want to not be a fat piece of shit, you got to cut out drinking. If you're not fat and you drink, you probably can keep drinking, but if you're fat and you drink, that's the easiest way for you to fucking lose weight. Just cut out drinking altogether. You're just gonna be you're gonna lose some water weight, and you're not gonna be bloated all the time. It's gonna be a good time for you. Norm, I think I heard it was 11 mixed drinks a week or whatever. I think 11 mixed drinks. Not 2 liters of vodka a week. That is not good. That was me at my worst. But I want to say that was probably my worst. I think that was 2 liters of vodka a week. That was probably my worst. I think doctors say 11 mixed drink, and then the standard for a mixed drink is even is half the cup vodka, is that a mixed drink? Not all the time. It's not normal. Also, you can drink and diet, but it's just empty calories for the most part, I think 11. But if you want my advice, if you're going to the doctor and they ask you how much you drink a week, say 2. And just leave it, just 2. 2. You could be 2 bottles, 2 liters of vodka a week, 2, and it's weird to lie to your, it's there's no need to lie to your doctor. Do we all lie to our doctors about how much we drink a week? Or was that me? Was that me a while ago? Also, never tell your doctor how much weed you smoke. That's the no. Just be I just use it to fall asleep. That's all I use it for. I guess that's the wrong answer. Are American Christians really like the crazy conservative evangelicals we see in the media? That is a loaded question, so I'm going to answer it the best way I can. Correct answer, yes, they're a lot of crazy, but it's kind of you're only as good as your craziest member. I think you're only, you're only as good as you're only as crazy as your craziest member. So I think it's something similar to that, where the American conservative evangelicals are a lot of times fucking crazy, but not all of them are not all of them are going to every Pride Fest and handing out fucking pamphlets and protesting signs. Not everyone's a protester. A lot of them just stay at home and hate from the comfort of their own home and their fucking wicker basket front porch seats or whatever. They are pretty crazy. Not everyone's crazy, but viewpoint. Yeah, the crazy viewpoints of it all. Yeah, that is 100% true. I guess we just talked about the Duggars earlier in the episode, and we can, we show that whole thing is just a spiral of just showing how crazy it is, and it really even went to the root of the problem, about this whole, and it's, you can raise someone to be crazy, and I think a lot of conservatives have been raised to be crazy, and think fucking crazy viewpoints. Trump is actually president. Those boxes at Mar-a-Lago, they were put there by Biden because he wants to arrest his political opponents. Biden didn't arrest fucking anyone. That was the fucking FBI. That was the fucking FBI, dude. And the FBI, we're talking about that case right now. The FBI doesn't bring anything to trial unless they're I think I saw the stat. It was 99.6% positive. It's not like your fucking local police station that's just wants to arrest people. That's all police are for, really. It's just if you don't arrest people, you're not doing your job. I don't think your job is to protect people, but we live in a fascist. You want to be fascist, so that's not a lot of cops today. And my family's just shut up. I'm they're all pigs. And you're oh, it's getting close to the end of the month. They gotta reach a quota. And it's like known they have to reach a quota. People who like deny that, I'm like, they fully have to reach, they may not have a quota, but it's like highly encouraged. It's like jobs I've had where it's like, oh, we need you to make a sale. However, you're not getting like commission for the sale. There's no real incentive for you to make that sale if you're not going to get commission for it, but we need you to make sales, and if you don't make these sales, you're fired. I'm like, what? I didn't realize this was a sales job, and don't do a sales job unless you get commission on it, folks. That's a good lesson for you. Anyways, crazy conservative evangelicals. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and I don't know if it's going to get worse. I have a hope in my heart that it's like, I feel like most of Gen Z is not believing that crazy fucking nonsense. But I don't know. But like the lasting effects on it, I think we're showing are going to be around for a while. So some of us have to buckle up, and they're the ones with guns. So it's
That's rough, buddy.
Can a former skinhead reach salvation? Just give it to me straight. What? I used to be one racist, sexist, homophobic, the works. I was a fucking shithead, so was my father and his father before him, all that Southern pride bullshit. But I changed, at least I think I did. I abandoned my ways, realized I had been brainwashed, went hard left, pulled a fucking my name is Earl with the people I hurt, donate to good causes, hell, even fucking protest. But well, yet I still feel like I can never redeem myself. I can never put more positive out that I did negative. I have trouble getting out of bed or doing anything for myself after realizing just how bad of a fuck up I was. It's been years, almost a decade, but yeah, and I think this is a good lesson for everyone. When someone used to be a skinhead, but they've like changed their mind and like really have educated themselves, because I feel like there's a lot of people who are probably like super conservative, but they don't even want to identify as being liberal just because like they're going to get shamed for it. Like, if someone changes their views to be like, and I'm not talking about like Republican talking points or Republican views. I'm talking like decent human being, being a good human being, just like that. And you used to not be a good human being, and now you're trying to be. And and this may be the Jesus in me, but I definitely do believe in, we gotta, obviously if someone did that wrong to you, hopefully they can make amends and forgive and stuff like that. Anyone that you've hurt in the meantime, like I think you can probably go back and hopefully ask for forgiveness, and maybe don't expect anyone to be able to forgive you, but like at least try to genuinely apologize and let them know that at least let them know, and try to prove it and show it with your actions that you do. And because I think a lot of people feel ashamed to become woke, or schwoke, whatever you want to be. I think people do believe that, but they don't want to feel like, finally, you're not a fucking idiot anymore. Like, people don't want to be fucking ashamed for changing their mind. I think we need to be opening. I'm glad, it's really cool that you changed your mind and you really tried to, because really all it is education. Like, you really educated yourself to becoming a better person. You really wanted to change, and I think you're showing, and you're putting in the work, and I think, obviously, if you put in the work, I think that's the answer. So hopefully that's good. And everyone out there, if you're looking at this guy and you're thinking, I would never forgive him, and of course I'll forgive him. Like, we need to be more open and forgiving to people who used to be Nazis and racist, and hopefully their actions are speaking louder than their words, and everything else from there. So forgive your local skinhead, punch your local Nazi, but forgive your local former Nazi, as a shirt I own says. Who actually says high school is the best time of your life? So I think I have a couple examples of people I think. This basically says, who actually says high school is the best time of your life. Who actually says it? And I'm thinking it's people who peaked in high school. And I bet you're wondering, did you peak in high school? Here's a couple things. Are all your friends from high school? Like, you never made friends that were outside high school. I'm not saying like your friend group or friends you have can't be from your high school, but it's kind of like your only friends are from your high school. Like, you don't know anyone else. that's a sign you peaked in high school. If you still wear your Letterman's jacket, that's a sign that you peaked in high school. People who say high school is the best time of your life are people. I'm not saying that you couldn't have enjoyed high school and had a good time, but if you think high school is the best your life is ever gonna get, at what point is living worth it? At that point, if you're like, oh, the best days of my life are over. Like, I think you need to try and peak somewhere else in life. Another thing that says, I peaked in high school. If you get excited for class reunions, I should have had a class reunion last year, class 2012. So if they did have a reunion, I was 100% not invited. And guess what? I don't give a shit. Fuck that. I did not peak in high school. And I'm okay with not being in high school anymore. It is fun to, I've been going back. I've had a high school for like 11 years now. And, I go back and talk to because they have a guitar class now. I talk to them. And that's actually kind of fun because, one, I didn't go to high school with any of those kids. And I'm obviously better than all of them. But at the same time, like, we're talking guitar. And that's why I really enjoy that. But I don't go, like, walk through the halls. I just go to the music room and then leave. If you bully adults, if you're like an adult bully, not like you pick on your friends and shit like that. If you're literally an adult bully, most likely you probably work in you're a manager or an assistant manager at a retail store, and those are the type of people. If you're like a manager at a retail store, you probably probably peaked in high school and are probably not smart enough to actually get through college. But two, it seems like every retail job I've ever had, there's always like a manager and an assistant manager, and they always just like bully people for some reason. Like they're like, this is the best. Like their life is so terrible they have to bully other adults, and they kiss ass for upper management. That way they can bully other adults. If you bully other adults, like actually bullying, not like goofing around, bullying or making jokes for the sake of let's be funny, I'm going to entertain someone. Like, you seriously, if you bully adults, you probably peaked in high school, dude. And if you work retail, if you're a manager at a retail store and you bully people, you probably peaked in high school. You probably peaked in high school if I can be like Jeff Foxworthy. If you party with high schoolers, that's 100%, dude. I remember you like graduate and people went to the local community college, which there's nothing wrong with going to community college, but the problem is if it's like a local community college, like you went to high school, like our high school, like the school campus, like right across the street is the community college. So it's almost like a part of that school. It's like, oh, you're going into 13th grade here at this high school. So it's like, and then they party with like their high school friends. I'm like, dude, that's not even peak. That's peaked in high school. That's also just fucking sad, dude. You're partying with high school. It's like you graduated high school, and a lot of times it's been a couple of years. And, like, you're still like living in high school. Like, that's fucking sad. If you're part of a pyramid scheme, you probably. I don't have any proof for this. I just think you probably peaked in high school. If you fucking send me a goddamn message like out of nowhere when we never talked. Or we did talk when you're a chick who, like, I was trying to get in their pants and I see, like, the previous Facebook messages. Like, I'm going to let you know you're a fucking moron. And that's that. If you're a teacher at a school and you suck up to jocks and popular kids, you peaked in high school. If you're also a teacher, it's like, we need school spirit really bad. And I once got shamed for not having school spirit. I'm like, I didn't choose to go here. I'm forced to go here. Like, school spirit is earned. It's not just given to you. You earn. School spirit should be earned. If your school is going to have school spirit, you got to earn that. You got to make your school good first. And last but not least, I think aggressive sport parents. I think that just shows you really peaked in high school and peaked in high school sports. It's so funny how serious people take high school sports and how none of those people go pro. Those people don't even like play in college. Like, they're not even good enough to play in like a really small college, you know? It's like, it's really funny, like how aggressive. It's like, these sports right now is going to be the best time of your life. You peaked in high school. Anyways, though, if you're any one of those, you probably peaked in high school. And guess what? You're a fucking loser. So,
that's rough, buddy.
And with that being said, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Cancel Schweezy, better known as the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. Follow me on social media at TheSchweezy. See my music and follow me at under Schweezy as well, twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. Check me out Thursday we're almost beating the main storyline of Breath of the Wild. So that's going to be really, not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. So that's going to be really cool. Patreon page. And I'll eventually get the Cash App and PayPal pages set up too, where it's just a little bit easier. And the free shit you can do. Make sure you subscribe to the show, YouTube and on audio, and make sure you're leaving us comments. That way I can be informed, and especially if I get something wrong, you can write the comment and let me know I'm wrong, and I will make a public redaction on the show. So that'd be really cool. Prove to me I'm wrong. That would be a good segment. Call me out. That'd be fun. And make sure you're sharing the episode and especially our highlights that we post on YouTube with all your friends. And leave a review, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 star. You know the fucking drill. So, honk if you love butt drugs. Stay awesome. Daddy, I love you. Daddy, why you die? Happy Father's Day, Daddy. Daddy, I can fly. Daddy, I love you. Why are you dead? Daddy, I need you laying in your bed. Daddy, I love you. Why did you die? I'm sorry I wrote jokes about you while you were dead and sent them on my podcast. What is wrong with my head? You were dead and I wrote jokes down in my iPhone. I can't believe I did that shit. Now I'm all alone. Daddy, I love you. Why did you die? Daddy, I love you. Why did you die? You just finished a full episode of Cancel Schweezy. You are now one of the smartest individuals who will ever exist in our world. If you like that episode, make sure you subscribe. Whether you're watching this show or listening to the show, make sure you subscribe. That way you get notified whenever we release full new episodes as well. And if you're on YouTube, smash that bell button. That way you get notified anytime we make a post over here on YouTube. Honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome.